we have that pinch point that I was telling you guys about. So the coils are all pulling towards each other, and that keeps it even more tight and secure. That's exactly how you want to do it every single time. Great day out here. We're in Wisconsin. Slight breeze, but it's not cold. This load that we have is going to Tennessee. We got about an 11-hour drive to get to where we need to go. As you can see, we have 11 of these Slinky coils on here. Now, the securement method for this is not difficult. I'm going to use butterfly straps all the way down the length of the trailer with some butterfly straps going through the eye of the front coil right here and the one in the very rear to hold those down. But I don't have to do those on the ones in between that. So this is really easy, and it's a good day to be out here tarping. The wind is blowing, not too hard, not hard enough to blow the tarp off, but it's comfortable out here, so I don't have to burn up in this heat. Or it was hot the last place I was. But here up north a little bit, it's not bad. So let's go ahead and show you guys how I start off with these. I didn't get to capture the setup of the trailer, but the first thing you want to do for this particular setup here, you want to get out your coil racks and your dunnage. And I got 2 of them for these because these aren't too heavy. You want to have a minimum of 2 coil racks whenever you're hauling pretty much anything that's going to require coil racks. I don't think I've ever had anything that had just 1 coil rack under it. I don't think I would trust that really. But we get that, we get our dunnage, and then as you see, I have some coil mats right there, and that's just to give it some added friction basically, so these coils don't slide around or move forward or backward. You know, it's just something to give it some traction so it stays where it's supposed to be. And I have that underneath the coil rack that's in the front as well. But after that, it's pretty much the forklift operator. As you guys saw, the tail end of it, but he started off by putting these coils on here 2 at a time. So he put the first one in the rear, and then he did, or the first 2 in the rear, so this one, and then after that he dropped them 2 at a time. He had a forklift that had double hooks, so he could hold 2 of these at a time, and then they finish off with the front. And I had to move my front around a little bit. I had to pull a little farther forward. It wasn't, or it was more space than I thought it was going to take. But that doesn't make any difference. I think, yeah, actually, we can start from the front with this. We'll start from the front, and I'll do the top-down securement first. So I'll go my butterfly strap through the eye, over the top, holding it down on the other side, and then I'll start with the butterfly straps that are going to hold it. Basically squeeze the coils together, each pair, all the way down the length of the trailer. All right guys, before I get started throwing any of these straps, I'll give you guys an explanation. I called these Slinkies in the beginning. That's kind of the nickname that we give them in flatbedding here. But the technical term for this is coiled steel rod. Okay, so, but the nickname of Slinkies comes from the way that they're shaped. I'll show you guys here. As you can see, these are all, so one really long coiled up piece of steel. Okay, but when it's compressed and bound with another piece of steel here, it looks just like a Slinky, just like the kids' toy. So now you guys know. And this stuff, it's secure with this steel binding right here. But if anything ever did happen and this securement of this steel binding broke, there is an extremely large amount of tension being held in by that piece right there. If this ever broke free and anybody was standing near this, they would most certainly be severely injured at the very least, and you know, possibly even worse, they may expire if they were to get hit by this steel if it broke free of this binding. So that's something to keep in mind with this. You want to make sure that you're careful. Like I said, it's safe as far as I know. but yeah, it can be very dangerous if it were to break free, or if you had some kind of impact where the securement of this failed, you know. And you can imagine that, multiplying that by 11, you know, each of them is bound the same way. There's 4 separate steel rings binding each of these coils, so it's pretty sturdy, but still, just keep that in mind. Very, very, very dangerous if anything were to damage it. Gotta watch out for stuff like this. This rod's hanging off. You can easily cut yourself on that. That's razor sharp. Make sure you're wearing your gloves and have a long sleeve shirt on when you're dealing with this steel. It's important when you're taking the strap, wrapping it around the other end, when you're bringing it back through to make the cross for the boat fry, make sure that the strap that you just brought back is going underneath, that it goes underneath. That way you can pull it tight when you have to winch it down. You also want to make sure that when you winch down your strap, the end where you put your hook, if you can see over there, my hook is in that spot. You want to make sure that on the opposite side where you're winching your strap down, it's in the same pocket area as it is on the other side of your trailer. That way your pull is even. We have something that I didn't calculate here with this one. This is a Benson trailer. I hate these, but as I've explained in other videos before, the Benson trailer, your winches, or your not your winch, actually yeah, your winch only goes up so far. As you guys can see, it only goes this far, and I need it to come up here. So I got the 4-inch strap. I'm gonna bring that out. Like I told you guys before, those things come in handy for situations like this. Let's go ahead and grab that thing and get this winch down. All right, here we go. Trusty 4-inch ratchet. This thing is awesome. Perfect for situations just like this. So we're gonna go ahead and put this right where we would want our winch to be, and then we're just gonna go ahead and ratchet it down like we normally would. Perfect. I'm telling you guys, I can't emphasize enough how handy having those 4-inch ratchets is. You know, I don't have to worry about anything. Any trailer that I pick up, I'll be able to deal with it because of these ratchets. They're not that costly, and they save you stress or time. You know, you'd have to use like 2-inch ratchets and straps to deal with it if you didn't have something like this to deal with it. There's nothing that you can do to, you know, take up this space other than using 2-inch ratchets, and I've never had to do 2-inch ratchets in the place of a 4-inch strap on a load of Slinkies, so I don't know if that would even be, you know, a safe way to do it. Glad that I don't have to find out. Get one more. Oh yeah, that's it. That's drum tight. That's not gonna move. All right, we can go ahead and do this top down butterfly strap as well. You want to make sure that you put a twist in this one. So you don't want to just winch it down straight. You want to put a half twist in it and then winch it down. You know what? Let's see. I had to use my 4-inch ratchet right here. I'm gonna need to use another one right here. Either that or possibly swap this strap around and have my buckle on this side. I'll have to see exactly where that fixed winch is on the opposite side, on the driver's side of the trailer. I forgot about that because I don't really want to use a 2-inch strap to do the top down on this. Let me figure that out. Let's see what I can do. All right, guys, update. When I ran into this issue about not having a winch down here, I went ahead and called my safety manager, gave him the situation, and he said that we can use these 2-inch ratchets to do that instead, since I don't have a Fontaine trailer and I don't have enough of these 4-inch ratchets to cover this end here, because I'm also concerned about the back, if I was going to have enough of the winches that would roll to go to the back of the rear of the trailer. But problem solved, because we can use this, and you only have to use one. I don't have to use 2 of them like I thought for this particular section. So problem solved, guys. You and I both learned something today, something new. I'll loosen that up a little bit. Get one more in there. That's a wrist workout for you for sure. All right, so there we are. Our sequence has started. Our top-down securements, and here's the securement holding these 2 coils together so they won't move. So this same process we're going to do down the entire length of the trailer. Now the only thing that we'll have to do, we have 11 of them, so we're going to split it in half with this. So see how this strap is pulling towards the rear of the trailer. We're going to go halfway down the trailer doing it this same way, and then when we get to the 5th, maybe the 6th coil, we're going to switch it around, and we're going to have our straps pulling towards the front of the tractor up here. That way the tension of these coils and the straps will be pulling them closer together like a pinch point, so that way they'll remain tight and everything's not pulling all in one direction. Something to keep in mind when you're doing flatbedding, you want to have balance. So just like I alternate my straps, buckle on one side and skip one, buckle on the other side, just like that. The same thing for counter pulls, specifically when you're dealing with coils. So let's go ahead and work our way down, then we can tarp this. All right, guys, we got the front half of the load secured. As you see, all my straps are pulling towards the tail end of the trailer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. So my next one is going to start pulling towards the tractor, this one right here. So we're going to loop that through this coil, around through this one, back this way underneath itself, and winch it down over there. And we're going to do that same thing all the way to the end. And then we're going to put our 2-inch strap back here for a top-down pull. Well, actually, might be able to. There's a winch right here. We might be able to do a 4-inch strap right there. I would prefer to do it that way, but we'll see how it all works out. I got a twist in that. I don't like that. There we go. That's better. You always want to pull these straps tight. You don't want to just put it into the winch and start twisting. You want to pull it, make sure all the slack is out of it before you start tightening anything down. And another thing that I like to do when I'm about to winch everything down here pull it through here, and I always make the protection bit that I put underneath the strap. But I like to leave enough excess strap down here so that I can spin this winch around at least 3 times before I start tightening it down with the bar. That way this winch has enough of this strap to bite onto and really hold tight. So there we go, that's good. Next 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, perfect. Perfect right there. The other side, I've got my strap pulling a little bit too far back on the passenger side. I think I want to go over there and move that, put it right about here will be good on the opposite side, because like I said, you want to make sure that these are even. Plus, the way that it is right now, this would be digging into this sharp edge of this pocket. I don't like that. There we go, smooth surface, not pulling against anything sharp like it was when it was right here. This is good. All right, so I don't like how close or how far away that last 4-inch winch is, so we're gonna go ahead and do the 2-inch ratchet and strap right here again for the rear, like we did for the front. Good old Benson trailers. I hate these things, but like I said, I've got tools to help me get around that, so it's not really stopping me from doing anything that I'm trying to do. And you want to make sure that you put that twist into this strap as well, so it's straight right here. I want to twist it halfway, put a half twist in it, then you want to winch it down. It's good now. Give it a couple of winch twists so that it'll stay still while I do this portion of it. A little bit too much. I'll tuck that away right there. Now this strategy, I use this all the time to hold the excess of the strap down. This works for me 100% of the time, but whenever it's in a situation like this, or if I think it's not in an optimal place like this is kind of close to this wheel. Like if this came loose, it's going to get tangled up in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bungee and I'm going to wrap it under here, pull it forward away from that wheel and pull that bungee tight. I'll show you guys that once I go grab one. All right guys, there are 3 separate straps that are tied down with these rabbit ears like this. So these 2 here in the front and the 1 in the rear that you guys just saw. So I'll show you the process or the tactic that I use to tie these down to make sure that they don't come loose. I mean, this is really secure. I mean, this is like holding it down. You see there's no space for it to come out, and there's 0 slack in this. Same thing with this one. So I mean, that's like a seatbelt on its own, but this is just an extra precaution using bungees in addition to this method. 100% of the time, this has always worked for me doing it this way. But like I said, I do it with a bungee just for a little added peace of mind. So what you want to do, you want to take your bungee, hook it up through the bottom, go through the top of the other side, and I hook it to the trailer, and then I just take the other piece and I hook it as far as I can. Let's see if we can get over here, right there. Okay, now let's do another one. Look at that. I don't think I like that bungee. The bungee's starting to fray. I think we're gonna take that off, swap it with another one. Guys, don't use faulty equipment. You know, if something's starting to wear out, it's a strap or a bungee, take it down, throw it away. You don't want it failing on you when you're on the road driving down the highway. That would be very, very bad, even if it's something like this. I mean, say that this method I'm using right here failed and the strap comes loose, and I was using this tattered bungee, and that came loose too, so I have nothing securing this basically. So use stuff that's in good condition. Yeah, we can. That's not tight enough. Let's go there. There we go. So we're going take the hook, go underneath one, go over top through the next side, hook it somewhere stable on the trailer. There we go. Now look at that. It's out of the way. The rabbit ears aren't hanging. It's pulled super tight. There's no way that it's going to come loose between this part of the ratchet and the bungee. It's not going to come loose, get down, caught up in the tires. Okay, that's not going to happen. So, perfect. All right, guys, the securement is finished. We still have to throw a tarp on this, but I'll show you guys how everything looks, the finished product. So, here, you can see our top-down protection with this butterfly strap that was going through the eye over the top. And don't forget to do your half twist. Our half twist is on the other side. Then we have our butterfly straps that are hugging these coils each together. So there, you see wrapped around. And remember, you always want to have, when you wrap it around, you always want to make sure that as you're coming around to make that full circle, you're going underneath the initial part of the strap that was thrown. So you see how my strap is underneath. And also another thing that you want to keep note of, and I see guys doing this when they're securing and they don't, they're not as meticulous as I would be with it. Some guys will have their straps thrown and there will be like twists, like their straps will be like twisted halfway and like up here or through the eye or down here. And I've seen some guys, actually I saw a guy here earlier that had his straps twisted like in multiple spots. Like, don't do that. Your straps need to be straight on. You don't put any half twists or full twists in these Slinky coils when you do it. Everything needs to be straight, facing the same direction. See how you can see the lettering here and here. My straps are not twisted at all on any of these coils. Don't get lazy. You know, don't be lazy, and don't get too comfortable when you're doing any type of securement. You want to follow through. See how these are all looking the same way. None of them are twisted. And the other portion that I was telling you guys, how I had the first 6 coils, the straps on them pulling towards the rear, towards the trailer. We had that all the way down, and as you see, we come to this section, the rear part of the trailer, the rear 5 I believe, and the straps are all pulling towards the front. That way we are balanced, and we have that pinch point that I was telling you guys about. So the coils are all pulling towards each other, and that keeps it even more tight and secure. That's exactly how you want to do it every single time. You want to split the difference with the number of coils you have. So like I said, I had 11 total, so I went through the first 6, had them pulling one direction, took the last 5 pulling the other way. Top down protection or top down securement, same way. And here we go with that bungee securement method for the rabbit ears. And it's as simple as that, guys. Now we just got to go ahead and get this tarped, and we will be ready to get on up out of here because we have an 11-hour drive. But I'm staying out on the road this weekend, guys. So I'm not going home, so I'm going to be driving as far as I care to before I stop for my 34-hour reset over the weekend. Find a nice pilot where I can get a shower and chill out for the weekend. We are all tarped down and secured, and we are looking very streamlined, the way that I like for it too. We have 11 hours to go to get to the Constantine, but today's a Friday, so we're only going to drive for a little while and get ourselves parked for the weekend so we can do our 34-hour reset. And according to my trip planning, I'm only about 5.5 hours away from the Brownsburg terminal, so I think I'm going to go ahead and head that way. It's along my route to where I got to go in Tennessee anyway, so we're going to make it there, get the truck washed, and hang out for the weekend. I'm ready to go. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about securing Slinkies than you did before you watched my video. I'm gonna go ahead and roll, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Here, check it out.